What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness.
So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel.
So let's start this video with 11 days of physique update from the Iranian phenomena Behrouz. So it is no wonder why his coach Milos Sarsev, he put up this caption on one of the most recent physique updates from Behrouz that it is game over for everyone at this upcoming Dubai Pro. Yes, that is how confident these guys are. Because Behrouz right now is looking so dry and so ripped. And after competing as a pro for so many years now, Behrouz has that type of physique. And he's at a point in his career where if he is on his A game, if he comes in 100%, like the way he did at Dubai Pro last year, it's gonna be very hard to beat him. Even for a guy like William Bonac. The thing is, he has the height, he has the width, he has the size, and he has the aesthetics. And at this point, I'm gonna say his quads, they have came up a lot since 2021, the year he made his pro debut. So at this point, he's a very complete bodybuilder. So all the people who were in attendance at last year's Dubai Pro show and who saw Behrouz winning that show, and that too in a very dominating fashion against guys like Nathan Yesha and William Bonac and Rubiel, they all claim that this guy is way more impressive in person than what public gets to see on camera, on Instagram, in all those videos on the stage. Now he has worked very hard to bring up his quads up to a point that now he's very balanced, top to bottom. Even though him and his coach, Milos, they still think that they need to bring up the legs even more. Now, that being said, his coach Milos thinks that Behrouz can fight for the Olympia title if he continues to build up his legs, considering that his legs, they were his biggest weakness when he made his pro debut at Romania Pro back in 2021 against Samson Dauda and Rafael Brandao. But there is a high probability that his legs, they are genetically a weak body part compared to his upper half, and they do not respond as well, as fast as the other body parts, as the other muscle groups. So it will be a challenge for him to keep on adding more size on his quads. But that being said, what he has done so far, that is beyond impressive. And another thing to keep in mind for Behrouz is that while putting on more muscle, more mass, he has to make sure his waistline that remains the same, that doesn't grow during that process. So he's among those classic looking bodybuilders in the men's open right now, and this needs to stay the way it is right now. So as a huge Big Ramy fan myself, I'm gonna say let's just hope that he isn't playing that same Kai Green card of him reposting all those stories of him coming back to this year's Miss Olympia. Even today, you can see multiple reposts by Big Ramy regarding his comeback to this year's Olympia stage. Now for the record, no official statement has been made by Big Ramy or his team in regards to his comeback. Now is it fair to blame Big Ramy if he doesn't come back, especially after what happened at his last show, which was the Arnold Ohio back in 2023? I'm gonna say not at all. But Ramy doesn't seem to be a guy who would repost all that stuff and give hopes to millions of his fans just to get into the news and back in the talks in the bodybuilding media. The man legit loves competing, and he will go down in the history as one of the most unique Miss Olympia champions, probably of all time. We talk about Samson Dauda being 300 pounds on the stage with a very small waistline. Well, here are some pictures of Big Ramy from the Olympia back in 2014. That was the year when his waist was still very small. And his legs, they weren't overly big, overly massive. And you can just see right there that it was like a perfect physique at that time. The man had everything. The size, the shape, the aesthetics, the X-frame. And it is kind of too bad. He took so much time to figure out the right formula, to get into top shape, to get into that top level conditioning. Or I'm gonna say on the flip side, he was chasing someone who was seen as unbeatable, one of the best of all time, Phil Heath. And during his Olympia reign, Phil Heath, we all know, was just way too good for the competition. The man was just too far ahead. So Ramy will be turning 41 coming September this year. And as fans, we really do not care where he places at the Olympia. If he makes the comeback, then he's 100% dedicated, the way he was in the old days when he was chasing that Olympia title. This will be so historic. And regardless of where he places, he's gonna make the Olympia so much more exciting and so much more anticipating. So Patrick Tour confirms that Stephane Matala is gonna make his men's open bodybuilding debut later this year. And as per the timeline, anywhere between 13 to 15 weeks out. That means it's gonna be either Europa Pro or France Pro, which are happening in September. And they are one of the last Olympia qualifiers before the big show. So those chest ratios at 272 pounds, they are looking so unreal. So the chest is so well developed that I'm gonna say it looks like AI. And that is the kind of quality that Stephane brought to his last classic physics show. Even when he was so dehydrated, and even after losing so much muscle and so much wow factor to make that weight cut off, and even while being so flat, he had that amazing muscle quality. Now we already knew that his chest, arms, shoulders, they are gonna be very impressive, as those are his major strengths. We rarely see the triceps being that full, and Stephane isn't even close to being contest ready right now. And the separation and the detail, that is already looking so damn crazy. So his back was that one area that needed the most work, that needed to come up. Now I'm not saying he had a very weak back, but in comparison to his front, that was still lacking in development. And looking at this right now, I'm gonna say it's safe to say that the back has came up tremendously. So I for one cannot wait to see him on an open bodybuilding stage, as this will be one of the most anticipated men's open debut of this year. And the choice of shows, that also seems to be very great, as Stephane utilizes the whole year, a full year, dedicated to the off-season, to make some true gains. Next up we have the physique update from Juan Praels, the young IFBB pro from Spain, whom we were all expecting to see at this upcoming Emperor Classic Spain, which is happening this weekend. But this young guy delayed his plans, and now he's looking at a big show, like Tampa Pro, which is happening in about 8 weeks time from now. So looking at his most recent physique update, he looks very lean and very ready. If the Emperor Classic Spain was on the plan, he probably could have done this show. Now Juan Praels got so massive during this past off-season, he looked like a totally different bodybuilder. And the only reason he wants to do a show like Tampa Pro, a show which he knows is gonna be a much more difficult one compared to a show like Spain Pro, is because he wants to test himself, and he wanna go up against some of the best bodybuilders in the world right now to see where he stands in the pro ranks. So Juan Praels took more than 1 year off. He did only one pro show, and that was the Emperor Classic Spain back in 2023. So this is him coming back after 2 years, and from the overall muscle mass and the aesthetics and the flow that we are seeing on him right now, every single thing has improved on this guy a lot. And considering the fact that he has another 8 weeks of dieting left, fine-tuning things, his condition is gonna be insane, especially in comparison to back in 2023. And that is one of the major factors that is gonna determine where he's gonna place. So let's see what kind of an impact he has on the stage at this upcoming Tampa Pro. Next up we have an 18 weeks out physique update from Wilkin. So add him in the list of the guys who are gonna be making their Olympia debuts this year. Now Brett has been kind of unlucky in a sense that his debut at the Olympia that should have happened back in 2023. So he won the big man weekend at the tail end of 2022, beating Andrea Presti, and he got really huge during that off-season leading into the Olympia that year, and the man had to forfeit his Olympia prep just 6 weeks before the Olympia because he was hit with some kind of gut problem. Now at this point, he has sorted out all those things, and this year we have seen him hit his heaviest ever off-season weight, while at the same time being the leanest he has ever been at that kind of body weight. And the grind continues to bring his best version to this year's Olympia stage at his Olympia debut. Now we have definitely seen more impressive physique updates from Wilkin earlier this year compared to this recent one. And just to give you guys some perspective, how small his waist becomes when the man is truly in shape, when he is all ready. Look at this front relaxed from one of his preps. Now, we know that size isn't gonna be enough to have a shot, I'm gonna say, at the Olympia top 8. But there is gonna be 1 year of solid work between that physique and the one that is being worked on right now for this year's Miss Olympia. So where do you guys see Brett finishing at his first ever Miss Olympia? So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.